morning. Oh, today is a video that I'm doing. I don't know, just because. So let me give you some background on what I'm doing. I have a really old set of speakers on my computer. They were made by A-Open. They have a small subwoofer on them, and they the speakers they work fine. Actually, I've replaced the originals left and right speakers with a couple of Optimus or realistic speakers. They sound better. The reason I like the speakers setup is that it has a wired remote that lets me control the volume. So, you know, if you're watching a video and you need to, you know, you play a video or music or something and the next song is really loud or really soft, you can adjust the volume a lot quicker than pulling up the volume controls in Windows. And the problem is that, like I said, I've had this for almost, if not at least 20 years, and the volume control has gotten damaged over the years, and I've cleaned it up and rewired it and fixed it, and eventually it's just going to die. So I decided I was going to try and replace the whole unit, and I started looking online for a remote controlled amplifier. Didn't have to be for computer speakers, I just wanted a remote controlled amplifier, and I could find them, but they had those obnoxious, crappy, cheap membrane type remotes that the membrane peels off of them if you just kind of look at it cross-eyed. And if I could find one that had a decent remote, the problem was that the Chinesium descriptions lacked any information whatsoever that was of any use to me. They didn't say anything about the power output of the units, didn't say how many inputs there were, didn't say anything about speaker impedance or anything. And I wasn't even sure if some of them weren't just preamps. And when you started getting into ones that did have more information, the prices started jumping significantly, and I don't want to pay $100 to $200 for an amp for computer speakers. It's silly. So my choices were, I have a Pioneer car stereo which has an aux in and a remote. I refer to it as the most dangerous radio in the world. Actually, if I don't sell it on eBay, I should make a video about it. Anyways, I decided that what I was going to do is I was going to take one of these little cheap integrated amplifiers you could get. This one's made by RCA. Well, it's got the name RCA. I don't know who actually makes them because they come under different names. There's RCA, I've seen Realistic, and I've seen Optimus. No doubt they're just made by some Chinesium company, and sold under different names. They all have the same model number, SA-155. And they're kind of handy because you can actually plug an old phonograph, you know, record player into them, and they support ceramic and magnetic cartridges. So they can be used as a preamp. They support CD tape tuner and a tape out. and left and right speakers. Output, these things supposedly put out about 1.8 watts per channel, which is not a lot, but for computer speakers that's way more than enough. So what I want to do is I just want to take the volume pot and run it through, basically take it out and run it remotely. So I have already taken the one apart that I was going to use, and I'm going to take out the volume pot, and then I'm going to use some Cat 5 cable and just wire that into the circuit board and replace my speakers with this. And this unit uses an amplifier chip that's found in a lot of car stereos. So if it ever dies, you can actually pick these up pretty cheap. So let's get to taking this the rest of the way apart and desoldering it, and go from there. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is just going to put in a little rubber grommet in here. Now there's 8 connections on this, and there's 8 wires on this cable, which is why I chose it. Okay, so you get the idea. This is what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be putting these in pairs, and then I'm going to match the colors to this, and we'll come back. Alright, so got this wired in, and got the faceplate on, got this side plate on, and now I've got to work on, I need to drill a hole in this box for this, and I need to cut this down. It's going to be way too big, and I'm not going to use the original knob. I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to get this cut off first, and then work on this. Okay, I've cut this down quite a bit so that I'll just be able to slip it into this little box. And all I gotta do is wire it up now. This is where the fun begins. Let me get some prep work done, and then I don't know that anyone really wants to watch me do every little bit of this. Alright, so I've separated and tinned all these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually solder them into the holes, not to the tabs, but into the holes. And we go from there. Alright, that was some fiddly work. Hopefully I've got it wired up correctly. And it's just going to fit in here. So there we have. Once I'm sure it's all working correctly, I'll hot glue it closed or something. So now I've got to go back inside. We'll hook it up and make sure it works before I close it all up. Alright, I got it kludged together here on my desk. Got my phone with some music playing, hooked up to my speakers, and so we turn the volume up. So it works. Thanks for watching.